Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Welcome to another video. You know, some of these conservatives be going at it sometimes. So, Officer Tatum went at a couple of people, and including, what's her name? Man, why am I forgetting names now? Candace Owens. Going at Candace Owens. He went at Nick Fuentes, a couple other people as well. But we're going to get on here and see what it's talking about. We're going to be reacting to O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel with Young Don. So let's get into the video, see what they talking about.
Sir Tatum would do this. A video by O'Shea Duke Jackson, man. They're all fighting over the body of their beloved white zaddy. Okay, let's go.
On September 19, 2025, the Officer Tatum YouTube channel put out a video called Receipts Expose the Real Story Behind Charlie Kirk in Israel.
Ooh.
And the goal of this video was to call out those individuals who were
Tatum, he putting in overtime. He working for Israel.
Trying to hijack Charlie's death with anti-Semitic conspiracies and clout-chasing lies.
Right,
and in this video, he attacked two people directly, but he started off pretty strong.
They're taking responsibility away from the person who really didn't confess to it. They're taking that power, are they giving him power, emboldening him, eluding what he did to talk about this.
Now, of course, so far, so good. But then we find out the first victim.
Okay, let's see.
Here's a clip from this guy named Nick Fuentes. If you don't know him, good on you, because he's an idiot. He is a narcissistic idiot. Don't let this fool trick your young people, because now that Charlie's gone, he's trying to position himself to get the mind of the youth to be stupid like him.
The first victim is Nick Fuentes. Now, if you guys know, the Officer Tatum and Nick Fuentes and his Groyper camp have never really seen eye to eye. Number one, Brandon Tatum, aka the Officer Tatum, is black,
right?
And he's married to a white woman. And Nick Fuentes and the Groyper guys have already called out him in the past.
He'd rather hate Charlie Kirk than to take something from Charlie Kirk's book and begin to establish something that's sustainable. These little gropers are going around, they racist. They call my wife, and I'm not saying all of them, but the ones who got on my wife, they call her a coal burner because she's a traitor to her race. You know how stupid you got to be like, white people can't marry black people.
So as you already see, this.
Yeah, this shit funny. You know, Officer Tatum, he's married to a white woman, and he's always, you know, have super borderline extreme conservative talking points. And you got Nick Fuentes, who don't believe in interbreeding. You know, he believes that white people got to take the country back. He also believes that black people are dominantly, you know, doing most of the crime in America too, which has been debunked on this channel. If you ever want to look at that video, go check out my videos on here. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. But it's really funny that, you know, these two are going at it, and the name calling that he gets from these people. I've always said this, like, you always want to, when it comes to this politics things, because both of these guys are heavy in the political field. They're not really politicians or anything, but they're heavy in the political field. When it comes down to politics, you always want to see what you can get out of it for what's best for you and your family and the people. Stop voting religiously based off what other people are telling you to vote on. Like, some people tell you to vote on things that has no benefit to you. Like, I had this lady, I was going over there to go get my passport to the library. I'm getting my birth certificate so I can go get my passport. And they, you know, there's people out there trying to give you, get you to register to vote. And this lady like, yeah, it's, you know, it's 5 women, powerful women in the seats, and we don't want them to lose their seats. And in my head, I'm like, so you want me to register to vote for these people? You don't want me to register to vote so I can just vote or figure out and do research for myself. You just really insinuating that I should vote on these women just because they're women and powerful, educated. Yeah, it's you can't fall for that bullshit. Stand 10 toes. Don't be the noodle leg man. Have a spine. Stand for what you believe in. You know, that's what I got to say on that.
Bro, the money can't be that good to be subjecting yourself to this kind of bullshit, man. These are the circles you're operating in. This is perpetually the bullshit you're going to have to put up with for as long as you're a black conservative married to a white woman. You are amongst people who see you as a monkey. They call you a monkey, an ape. They think you should go back to Africa. They don't believe anyone who looks like you should hold any political power. These are the people that you're fighting for. Okay.
I mean, but that shouldn't matter though. Like, honestly, that shit shouldn't matter. These are the people you fighting for. It ain't fighting for you. When you go out and you voting and shit like that, like, you voting for what's best for you and your family. Like, I'd rather be on the conservative side rather than the other side. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of things that I would agree with that conservatives vote on, but hey, I relate more to them than I relate to the other side. So I wouldn't matter what the fuck somebody talking about my wife because she's white. I wouldn't give a shit. Who gives a shit? Like, people talking shit does not pay your bills at the end of the day, bottom line. How people think about you do not pay your bills, bottom line. It does not it does not control where your tax dollars go to. None of that shit do. So you telling me I should vote on how motherfuckers feel about me? Fuck that. Fuck that shit. For real.
A lot of back and forth between these two individuals, basically behind the fact that Officer Tatum is a conservative and he's married to a white woman, but also because the Officer Tatum is an Israel supporter.
Right.
Now, this is interesting. He's basically going on to talk about the fact that Nick Fuentes is trying to take away Charlie Kirk's audience and bring them over to his side. And this is what he's trying to do with the death of Charlie Kirk. He's also going to mention the fact that, you know, Nick Fuentes was an enemy of Charlie Kirk. And I really don't want to get into more detail about it, but I really don't mind this particular call out because some of it could be fair, right? And these two really don't like each other.
Sure,
but the next call out is shocking.
This is what bothers me, and this is why I don't fool with him no more. I don't want nothing to do. I've lost faith in Tucker Carlson.
No, okay.
I never really liked him a lot. I didn't like how he talked. Like, he was very condescending and he's just weird. But I respected his gangster because he was keeping it real on Fox News. He was hitting them over the head. He would do tough interviews with Trump or anybody.
And if y'all don't know too, homeboy sensitive. Homeboy is sensitive. It's a video out there of him calling, you know, another black man a bitch ass nigga, this and this and that, and because they necessarily don't agree on ideologies. And Officer Tatum will get butthurt about that. You know, he'll get butthurt about that. And I don't think Tucker Carlson ever really came at Officer Tatum the wrong way. He just believes that there's more than what meets the eye when certain events happen. And it has to do with a particular group of people, which is the Israelis or people from Israel. And hey, I mean, we can't continuously act like there's something not there. We just obviously can't do that. If you look up, like, Israel's been kicked out of 56 I think 56 countries, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all got any history on that. So there's always something going on with that country, if you think about it. So for him to go at him and say that, you know, I don't really mess with him like that no more just because, you know, he always, you used to rock with him when he agreed with you. Now that there's something he disagreed with, and I totally hate when people do that. When there's something you disagree about, like, it always have to go to blows. So, but hey, it is what it is.
And then somehow a tapeworm got in him, and now he just say the craziest stuff on planet Earth.
The Officer Tatum calls out the legend himself of Fox News, formerly Fox News, Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker Carlson, now as you can see, he also gives his own personal opinion about Tucker Carlson, basically calling him.
Why is Brandon Tatum fighting for Israel? Think about that. Why is Brandon Tatum fighting for Israel? Even if from the conservative perspective, it doesn't make sense to want to support a government, an American government, in this case, a Trump government, that is funneling money into fighting somebody else's war where they are actively committing a genocide against brown people. That's what's going on here. There is no bridge. There is no bridge to justify it. It would be like, right, I'm from Jamaica. It'd be like a Jamaican all of a sudden just fighting for Israel. It's like, why? Why? For what? Why not fight for every other group of people that's engaged in a war? It just doesn't make any sense.
In so many ways.
Well, because I agree with the first part that Young Don said. Like, yeah, it don't make any sense, but why not just fight for your own people? Why not just fight for Americans? Like, why are you trying to cope for Israel so much? And another thing, because he was saying that, you know, why are you defending people who are pretty much, you know, discriminating against brown people? And I don't know if Young Don think like this, but all people who aren't white aren't on the same boat or playing field. Like, a lot of people won't accept people like you or me into their groups, or they'll look at us with a side eye. I don't understand how all of you are defending Palestine so much. You know, we can talk about like defending Israel and why wouldn't we want to defend them as much, but why are you defending Palestine as much? I think it's one of those situations where we shouldn't really get so much involved in it, because it's a really, really complex issue, or it's like, damn, like you can see both sides, really, if you really sit there and you do your research on it. Because, and I'm gonna just briefly touch over the spectrum, like Israel got all this firepower. They can really take over Gaza overnight if they really wanted to. They can blow them out of the woodworks, because really people in Gaza, the Palestinians, they can't really fight back like that. But at the same time, when you see what Hamas is doing, like they're hiding in places where a lot of their civilians are. So their civilians are counting as casualties, and their own civilians that do call out Hamas for doing what they're doing, they get silenced. It's really one of those profound things that's going on right now. It's not just like, oh, big Israel's being the biggest bully, biggest, baddest bully. It's really deeper than that, if you really, really do your investigation on it. I say let's not get involved with the motherfuckers at all. My opinion. That's what I think. What y'all think? Leave it down in the comments below.
He's doing it for the money. He's also been brainwashed.
Yeah, I also agree with that too. I think he bootlicking that the Israelis are really powerful people. They do fund a lot of groups. They do fund a lot of money into different propaganda or just motives that they want to promote. Like, it's a lot of money and backing that they'll give you if, you know, you align with what they're trying to do, honestly.
Watched by a book, 2,000-year-old book.
It's stuck up. And basically
the same book that was used to justify the enslavement and oppression of his people are now being used to oppress another group of brown people. Surprise, surprise.
And this is where I get to disagreeing with Young Don when he get to saying stuff like that. Young Don, if you don't know him, he been everywhere. Like, if you had a football field and you got a Mike linebacker, he the Mike linebacker. He everywhere on the field making all types of tackles. He Luke Kuechly. You know, one day he's a Christian, one day he's a Pentecostal Christian, one day he believe in the Trinity, one day he do not, one day he believe in casting out demons, one day he do not. He a Muslim, he a Catholic, he's this, he's that. Young Don has been everywhere, and you really don't know where you gonna land next. He's taken his audience on the fucking journey. I'll say that.
Tucker Carlson. And the issue that Brandon Tatum has an issue with Tucker Carlson is because of this clip that Carlson released once Charlie Kirk got killed.
He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said it to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force.
Wow.
He was appalled by what was happening
Charlie?
in Gaza.
That's crazy.
He was above all resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars.
A lot of conservatives feel
his
that way.
country.
Well, I mean, he didn't have a problem taking a ton of money from him.
And that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States. And he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that. But he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook. But that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true.
Now, Tatum would then listen to
Drop the receipts, bro. Drop the receipts.
this clip, and he would come back with some ferocious allegations.
Oh.
Tatum would address Tucker Carlson with the ferocious comeback.
Anti-Semitic person like Tucker Carlson
Ooh.
is on stage spewing hatred against Jews and conspiracies. Why would a donor that's Jewish or that is donating to you because you are elevating the Zionist ideas that you have had since you was 16 years old, why would they not have a problem with it? You can believe that they're wrong or right or whatever your opinion is, but you can't deny that. Why would a donor say, I have no problem with you bringing this nut on stage in front of all of these young people and spewing stupidity?
Now, he's saying, like, listen, Tucker, you're anti-Semitic.
Now, this is why I have a problem with what Officer Tatum. Like, why are you calling him anti-Semitic? Why are you calling him all these names that go against Israel when he just really have a problem with the people that are in power at Israel? He doesn't have a problem with people at Israeli. It's so hypocritical because you defended Charlie Kirk for having these clipped up content where it looked like Charlie's a racist or he's a white supremacist, which obviously I've defended. Like, okay, hold on. Let's actually delve deep into it. Let's get context. Let's watch the whole video because we can clip up anything. But you doing the same thing to Tucker Carlson. Officer Tatum does this a lot. He does this a lot. He's hypocritical on his takes. You know, it's kind of, if it doesn't fit for him, it ain't going to fit for anybody else. So, you know, he'll flip it upon you. So that's just what he does.
Always been anti-Semitic, even since when you were like 18 or 19. So why would they want to deal with somebody like you? Now, this is where I think Brandon Tatum and some of these black conservatives are crossing the line. Number one, Tucker Carlson is like, you know, I would say he's like pretty much godlike amongst far-right conservatives.
They're getting a little too big for their bridges, man. Someone better get these black conservatives in line. There is a hierarchy to this shit.
Historically, being on Fox News, he still is, okay? But what's so interesting about Brandon Tatum, the problem with Brandon Tatum's argument is that, well, they had the memorial today. And guess who was on the list to speak for the memorial? Let's look at it here. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Secretary Mark Rubio, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Secretary Pete Hegseth, Director Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump Jr. There it is. Tucker Carlson, Stephen Miller, Sergio Gore. So guess what? Tucker Carlson was invited to speak.
Right.
And how do we know it?
Action, because God is here and you can feel it. And Charlie would have loved this, not just because
no black people. All that tap dancing, you ain't even get a chance to say 1-2 words. Didn't you work for Turning Point USA, Brandon? They didn't even give you a chance to speak. But they put Tucker Carlson on stage, and supposedly he's lying about Charlie and saying all kinds of anti-Semitic shit. But Trump is a Zionist. So make that make sense. This goes to show in the conservative world, one thing trumps all. One thing trumps all.
but because ultimately he was a Christian evangelist.
And this doesn't really add up. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't add up. Because Jews support Turning Point USA. And so they would have supported this event. So they supported the event knowing that Tucker Carlson was going to speak. So it must mean that Tucker Carlson must not be that much of an anti-Semite because he's not there. But we know who was not there, and that was you. Woo! We also know that Tucker Carlson was the main person that pushed this GoFundMe or Give Singo, basically raising almost $5.4 million on the behalf of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And guess who didn't put up $1 million? Brandon Tatum. Okay. They raised $5.4 million largely because of Tucker Carlson's pull. And what does that necessarily mean? That means that Tucker Carlson had a much closer relationship with Charlie Kirk than Brandon Tatum ever did. But here's the flip side of this.
Maybe not, but it's also that Tucker Carlson is just way wealthier than Brandon, and Tucker Carlson is way more embraced by the conservative white movement.
Power argument. Brandon Tatum refuses to call out the real, aka anti-Semite, or the grifter of the year when it comes to the death of Charlie Kirk. And that is Candace Owens, okay? Nobody financially is benefiting off the death and alluding to the fact that Israel somehow assassinated Charlie Kirk than her.
That's
now,
true.
She hasn't explicitly said that, but she's also put a Netanyahu photo almost like
multiple times.
Half of the thumbnails. Like, let's look at this. They are lying about Charlie Kirk, episode 235. I mean, Charlie Kirk shooting suspect charge. I mean, that 5.5 million views. Who ordered the hit on Charlie Kirk? I mean, again, here we go. I mean, all of these conspiracy theories is right there. And guess who isn't talking about it? He's not addressing Candace
Really?
Owens. And that's interesting. There's nobody who's a bigger conspiratist than her. And how do we...
I ain't gonna lie to you, O'Shea. You fucking tricked me, nigga. Look at the title. Candace Owens never thought Officer Tatum would do this. I'm gonna let it go, but it's feeling like clickbait. Well, let's see.
Know this. Let's go to this particular tweets, okay? But let's also go back to the Tucker Carlson thing, since Brandon Tatum doesn't like Tucker Carlson. Candace Owens also mentions the fact that she has evidence the same as Tucker Carlson to explain what was going on with Charlie Kirk.
Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. But Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen.
So in this clip, Candace Owens is pretty much backing up the same thing that Tucker Carlson's talking about. Again, Brandon Tatum seems to be a step behind. And let's look at the screenshots, the tweets, okay? The tweets in which he indirectly implies that Israel is behind this. Let's look at this. Tucker Carlson just exposed everything Charlie was going through with his Jewish donors and what his true feelings were towards Bibi Netanyahu. Watch to comprehend how sinister the lies are the Zionist crowd is trying to tell right now. Messages exist, stop lying. Woo! But wait a minute, hold on, Brandon Tatum. Wait, why are you refusing to come after your friend Candace Owens?
Where are the receipts, man? Tucker is saying their receipts. Candace is saying their receipts. I have seen no receipts. Where are these supposed receipts?
I mean, that's crazy.
That is a good question.
In your whole podcast, that whole YouTube video, you come after Tucker Carlson and you come after Nick Fuentes. But the person who's doing all of this rubbish the most is Candace Owens. And he only mentions Candace Owens one time quite favorably. Check it out.
Charlie would never in his life say, I want my kids to be white. Charlie never felt that. Charlie never said that.
What?
Charlie never discriminated.
Charlie Kirk pushed white erasure. He pushed the great replacement theory. Of course, he wanted his children to be white.
When you say his best friend was a black woman, Candace, they were like this, bro. flying on an airplane together, everything. I thought they was in a relationship at one point. I was like, they must be, oh, that's a good couple right there. Look, they going everywhere together. They ain't a couple. Then when I got to know them, I realized they weren't, but Charlie ain't no racist.
Basically here, he's trying to prove that Charlie Kirk.
Charlie is a racist. He lied constantly about black people to make them look bad. That makes you a racist.
It's not racist.
Then call Don Lemon a racist and call a whole bunch of these news reporters a racist too, because they got them same statistics. And that was the issue that I had with a lot of people calling Charlie Kirk a racist that happen to be black. Those same talking points he would say, saying that 2 out of 3 fathers are not in the home. Black people are causing most of the crimes. Those statistics, he got those from the same talking points that news outlets will push out. I would see those same talking points from CNN, Fox, ABC News, all of them, bro. All of them said that shit. So call them out too. The issue is a lot of people are misinformed and are not going off real statistics. There's a motive behind putting out those type of statistics. And what Charlie Kirk did was put those type of statistics out. I don't know whether he did that for, he wanted to pin black people as, I don't even believe that. I can't bring myself to believe that. Why? Because I saw him show respect, gratitude, give to black people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've seen on the videos. Show me where he did otherwise. Those videos y'all keep bringing up where he talked down about black people, that's just him regurgitating statistics that a lot of these news outlets has put out. Some of these news outlets that they have that they have on there, the people that are saying it, Don Lemon, he's black. Some of these people were black, regurgitating the same shit. So they racist too, Young Don? I'm asking. I'm genuinely asking.
Because Candace Owens
and
him were like the best of friends.
Of course.
And he even thought that they
You know who else were like the best of friends? Fucking Candy, Mr. Candy from Candyland and Django and Steven. They were bestest of friends. So that don't mean shit. Look, how do you think white European DNA got into the blood of pretty much every black Caribbean and American? Because they were fucking black women. The white slave owners were fucking black women. So just because you can find a racist being all chummy with a black person, that don't mean shit.
Dating at one time. Who do that sound? That's interesting. Hey, Brandon Tatum, I wouldn't have said all of that. But hold on, let's go back to the tweet. Sorry, guys, you murdered my friend. You unlocked the Inigo Montoya in me. We're not.
He was probably clapping. I ain't gonna lie to you. He was probably smacking that. But
you. Well, we already know who murdered him, but Candace Owens is pushing that propaganda. The one that Brandon Tatum is talking about are blaming Nick Fuentes for doing when nobody's doing it more than her. He's coming after Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, but not his friend Candace Owens. Look at this. All Bibi Netanyahu had to do was not lie on Charlie's name in the aftermath, and we wouldn't be here. So he's calling Netanyahu a liar. The same person that Tatum had on this live stream praising Netanyahu, but Candace Owens openly is calling Netanyahu a liar, and Brandon Tatum is too afraid to address her.
Oh, of course.
But he has never been able to meet that challenge. Look at this. Awesome Jew was also at the Hampton Summit. Of course, I'm just sitting here looking at this list, LOLing at them, attempting to spin this as a totally casual fling that was not about Israel. But wait a minute. Since Brandon Tatum refuses to address his friend, what is everybody else saying? This guy, Pie Stop Enjoyer, Candace Owens, please shut the F up forever. Your friend was murdered for F's sake. Woo! All right, let's look at Apex. Candace Owens ain't playing around with y'all, Israelites today, right now, okay?
Right.
White and Right America's favorite Negro went in on our show today, laying down evidence of what she feels was behind the death of her beloved Zaddy piece, Charlie Kirk. You go, girl. Okay, this is plain sight. In plain sight, what we believe is grifting. She's blaming Israel for this indirectly. Okay, but Brandon Tatum is being scared. Look at this here. Candace Owens accuses the you know who, all right, of murdering Charlie Kirk, queen of brain rot. Oh, so even Jews themselves are upset about this.
Right.
Y'all saw this pic from Candace Owens that she said Charlie Kirk's assassin and Dairy Queen the day after shooting. Weird when the Dairy Queen Superman campaign only ran from May to July. More grift using Charlie. It's so disturbing. Wow, even the fans are seeing this.
Wow.
And look at this. Candace Owens inexplicably has broken new ground as an evil grifter. This is particularly one of the most disgusting things she's ever said. We watched Charlie get shot in the throat. This feels a little bit symbolic. It feels like they wanted us to know that his voice was problematic. Again, I don't know who they is. Again, so who's they? We all know who they is. So let's go back to Brandon Tatum.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the thing is,
she's definitely insinuating it was the Jews.
Tatum is trying to stall Candace Owens out. But see, Brandon Tatum is in too deep on one side. Candace Owens is in too deep on the other.
Right.
Now, Brandon Tatum does not want to start a war with Candace Owens.
Right.
Because Candace Owens will fight back. And right now, they're both on different political avenues. They're on parallel streets, if you will. Okay? And he's trying to make it parallel, but somehow, some way, both of those streets or cars are going to come away from those streets, and they're going to have to intersect. And the more that Candace Owens keeps coming after Netanyahu or certain people in Israel, Brandon Tatum will be left with nothing else but to go after Candace Owens. He just has to, okay? Because listen, Candace Owens is spreading all these lies out here. She's getting millions of views every day, and Brandon Tatum doesn't get as many views as Candace Owens. Her views are really hurting it. He's going to have to go to battle with his friend and on the behalf of Israel. And Candace Owens is going to take that up, and it's going to get really dirty.
Yeah, it really just goes to show that Brandon Tatum doesn't stand on anything or stand for anything, and that shouldn't come as a surprise. The man is a grifter. He knows nothing about Israel, yet is fighting for Israel. He claims to be a Christian, cares so much about the lives of children, for instance, right? If a woman wants to have an abortion for whatever reason, he would say that's wrong because it's murder. But yet he's completely fine supporting a government that is actively murdering children by the thousands. He has no problem with that. And so which is it? Is it that the lives of children are sacred and should be protected at all costs? Or are there some situations where it's okay to murder children? That's what Brandon Tatum believes. He believes there's some situations where it's okay to murder children. This means your morality is subjective. There is no objective value in the life of a child, in the soul of a child. That's what you would believe. You are a complete hypocrite. You are a complete sellout. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a Christian, and as a result, I used to be a conservative. And guess what? Even back then, I was still advocating for reparations, and I called Charlie Kirk a racist as a Christian that agreed with, some more conservative views. But that's the thing with Officer Tatum. He is not morally, logically, or ideologically consistent at all. At all. He's a sellout, fully, to the maximum. And so here we have Candace Owens, who is getting more views than Tucker Carlson. She's getting more views than Nick Fuentes. She is the loudest anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Semitic voice on the right now. And he won't say anything. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's loyalty or fear. I think it's probably a mixture of both. He knows that he ain't standing a chance against Candace Owens. Candace Owens would completely shred him to pieces. It's also the reason why he hasn't debated Myron Gaines yet, because Myron would completely shred him to pieces. This is not a very intelligent man. This is not a very smart man. Well, I'll give him this. He is smart in this way. He recognizes who Big Daddy really is. He knows who's really paying the bills. And that's Maga, Trump, and Bibi Netanyahu. He knows who's really in charge. And so at least we can give him some credit for that. That's playing it safe. He's definitely playing it safe as the black conservative sellout. No doubt about it.
Maybe Tatum has some dirt out there he doesn't want anybody to know, but it's inevitable. These two are going to actually come to blows really, really soon within the next year. Okay. Candace is not
if he
going to
keeps
stop
going like this
for her money.
And
then Brandon Tatum will not stop grifting for theirs. Now it's no longer black on black.
Now, here's the thing. I think Brandon Tatum, he's grifting for money. And so is Candace. But when it comes to Israel, I actually think Candace is an anti-Semite. I actually believe, whether it was her experience with Ben Shapiro or whatever the case may be, she genuinely does not like Israel. She does not like the Jewish people. She doesn't like Jews. And so that's her situation right there. And so that's also another reason why she would be dangerous for Brandon Tatum to mess with, because something much more powerful than greed is fueling Candace. She also is being fueled by hatred. And when you combine greed and hatred, well, god damn it, fuck. That's a very powerful person, especially when they are intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I think Candace Owens is actually a very smart person. She is just evil. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Brandon Tatum is evil. He might just be stupid. You feel me? So that's really what's going on there. But I am interested to see these two collide, because it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. With Charlie Kirk out of the picture, even though Brandon Tatum isn't the hero that Israel wants, it's the one that they deserve, and it's the one that they have to settle with. Besides Brandon Tatum, again, who does the right have? He is now possibly the biggest conservative influencer YouTuber advocating for Israel. I mean, you would have to put me on. Let me know in the comment section down below if Israel has a bigger online influencer right now on the right pushing Israel and Zionism. I don't think so.
Now it's no longer black on black crime. Both of them are married to Caucasians. So why are they going to get into it anyway? Because of greed. They have to do this. And just sit back and watch.
Shit, get your popcorn ready then. Get your popcorn ready. Yeah, man, that's an interesting take Young Don had on that, you know. Can't say I agree that Candace Owens is an anti-Semite, but I will say she does call out the Jew or Israeli government, people who are in charge, a lot. And, you know, rightfully so. You know, it kind of looks shaky up there. I won't lie and say it don't, you know, but I don't have a hatred towards Israeli or Jews. I got an Israeli friend. You know, I don't got hatred between those people. I think what is going on over there, though, is just very complex. And I think most people should not really involve themselves. I see a lot of people want to pick up Palestinian flags and go over there and wave them and shit. And I'm like, I know some of y'all are super liberated. Palestinians, they're mainstream Muslims. So they the hardcore Muslim. They don't really like y'all lifestyle. They wouldn't fuck with y'all like that if y'all was over there. They wouldn't allow you to live freely how you want to live. See women over there with Palestinian flags trying to stop cars and fuck with people. Y'all don't wear hijabs. You got to put a hijab on over there. You know that? I'm just saying. But y'all want to take up for Palestinians. And I also heard, I might be wrong about this. Let me know if anybody has done research on this on the comments down below. Let me know. Let me know. I heard that there are some dark-skinned colored people that they call slaves over there, or in a different region close to Palestine. They don't really respect them. They look at them as I am better than thou. But hey, everybody and their mama wants to defend Palestine. Just my thoughts on it, my take. Leave down in the comments below if you like the video, if you got any comments or anything interesting you would like to say. Would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate you tuning in. Much love. Peace. We gone.